Good evening, Albert.
Good evening, Miss Manning.
Oh, Jenny, did anyone call the hospital?
No, Miss Elsie, but Miss Doris phoned twice. She wants you to come upstairs to the party.
Shall we go to Doris's party, Horace?
My last evening in New York? I'd rather spend it here with you.
Neil, don't forget, we'll be expecting you later.
All right, Leo. May drop up for a while.
Good.
Hello, Jenny.
Good evening, Mr. Neal.
Why, it's Neil. Oh, congratulations. We love the play. Any news?
No, not a bit. I was just wandering around like a stray cat, and I thought you wouldn't mind if I dropped in for a while.
Why, of course. Oh, Neil, this is Mr. Barker. This is Neil Kennedy, who produced the play we saw tonight.
Oh, yes. I'm glad to know you, sir.
How do you do?
Well, sit down, Neil. I'll have Jenny bring you a drink.
Now, there's an idea, Elsie. I haven't had one tonight.
Well, we'll fix that. I'm having Jenny mix a drink for you, too, Horace.
If you don't mind, Elsie, I think I'd better run over to my room and see if they've been able to get that message through for me.
Oh, must you go?
I think I'd better. I've been trying to get a long-distance call through all evening.
Why don't you call from here?
I don't want to bother you folks with my business. Well, goodbye, Mr. Kennedy. I certainly wish you success with your play.
Thanks.
If I find that I have to leave in the morning, would it be all right for me to come back for a few minutes tonight?
Well, of course. But I hope you won't have to go.
So that's Mr. Barker.
Yes, that's Mr. Barker.
I've been hearing about him.
Have you? Where?
Jenny, I've called up several times lately, and every time Jenny told me you were out with Mr. Barker.
Well, I suppose I was. I'm sorry to have missed you, Neil.
How do you think the play went?
Oh, I think they loved it. I'm sure it's a hit.
Well, if it is, I've got some good news for you. That's what I came to see you about. I've got another play I'm going to do, and there's a swell part in it for you.
I'm sorry, Neil. I'm afraid it's too late for me. I'm going to leave the stage.
And that means you're going to get married.
Evening, Albert.
Good evening, Mr. Nichols. You're quite a stranger, sir.
Good evening, Jenny.
Good evening. Why, it's Jim. Why, Jim, I didn't know you were in town. You know Neil Kennedy.
Why, of course. How do you do,
Hi,
Neil?
Mr. Nichols.
When'd you get back, Jim?
Why, today. Didn't your maid tell you I phoned this evening?
No, she didn't.
Why, she told me you were at the theater.
Yes, I was. It was the opening of Neil's new play.
Oh, really? Good. Well, how'd it go?
The jury's still out. I'm waiting for the verdict.
I see.
Well, don't you think that we ought to have a little drink to wish him luck, Jim?
Why, indeed I do. Although it's strictly against the doctor's orders. They'd me quit smoking altogether.
Oh, that's tough, all right.
Yes, it is. Especially the smoking. I'll miss that a lot more than I'll ever miss the drinks. Still, I hate to think that this will be my last.
Well, I know how you feel. I'm always sorry when it's going to be my last one.
Well, here's hoping you have a success.
Thanks.
Cheer up.
on my way.
Good night, Neil. You going back to the theater?
Oh, I'm going home now and kick the ticket brokers off my doorstep. Sit down.
Good night, dear.
You must speak to Jenny about not giving you my message.
Yes, I know, Jim. I'll speak to her about it.
Don't be upset about it. It's quite all right. Now, how's Norma?
Why, she had a slight temperature this morning when I was at the hospital. She caught a little cold. I asked Miss Henderson to call me here about this time to let me know if she was sleeping all right. Oh, thanks so much, Jim, for the fruit and things you sent her.
Did she like them?
She loved them.
Well, you go to the theater with Neil tonight?
No, Jim, I didn't. I went with a man I met just after you left for Washington.
Oh, yeah? Well, who is he?
Well, his name is Barker. Horace Barker. He's from Detroit. I want to talk to you about him, Jim.
What is it?
He wants me to marry him.
He wants you to. Well, what kind of a man is he?
I wouldn't know how to explain him, Jim. I think he's splendid. I'm more in love than I ever thought I could be with anyone again. Well, that's all there is to it, Jim. I do love him.
I see.